Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside. Come inside. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris Orme, and yeah, I think lockdown's got me going stir crazy. And I do not apologize for that. It is life. It is what we're doing, and yeah. So this video is going to be a little bit strange in some ways because it's not what I planned to do. I planned to start the season. But I figured what I'd really want to do is go through and very analytically break down the season as a whole. Regular season, postseason, overall, how the staff I think performed, how I think I performed, and the players we brought in, exactly how they all came together. So it should help us identify some weaknesses and put together a better team for next season where we can actually challenge. Now, the good thing with that is we are 19 million under the salary cap. We don't have to lose anyone important to bring through two great free agents, let's say. So if there was a big-time forward, a big-time goal-scoring forward that would elevate us to another level, I can bring that person in. If there's a shutdown defenseman, I can bring that person in. I can bring them both in on 8 to 9 million a year and still be under the salary cap. I think that's good. Not only that, but I can probably bring a third one in of similar stature, dumping Brendan Gallagher and Jonathan Drouin in trades to free up the cap space, and still only have to lose one person from this list in general. Because if I bring in two forwards, I would replace Gallagher and Drouin, who did, for me, very little to earn their money this year. I get rid of those, I bring in two superstar forwards at 10 million a year. That will still give us like 7 million to get another Dougie Hamilton on the back end and really improve the defense. So the money's there, we just need to make the right moves that make sense for us. Now, we don't have any veterans. I don't like playing with veterans. I like building with youth. They improve, you get better, you dominate for a long time. That's my methodology on this. But yeah, I understand that other people have a certain way. So let me know how important you think these things are, what you think I'm overlooking, a different viewpoint. Come back at me with these, challenge my ideas, challenge me, get me to try and think a different way about things. I'm here to learn as much as I am to teach. So hit me up with that. Also, I will say, if this kind of video isn't for you, there won't be any games played. There probably will be some trades, or at least discussion of trades. There might be some shuffling. There might be some staff scouting. A lot of people will see that as like downtime game, where it's not stuff people usually record or you see. If it's not for you, fair enough. Please do consider coming back in the next video where we'll start the season and actually see things progress, etc. But for me, this is an important step in the process, and I would like to share it with you. So for those that want to watch it, great, stick around, have your say, have your feedback, help me shape this team. For those that aren't, I fully understand, no problem. We'll see you when you see you. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It does help me out. Hit like, get those comments in. That all being said, let's just jump into it. So I'm going to go surface level first. Goaltenders. Jordin Sparks played okay. I've got to say, Jordin Sparks actually played okay. I'm pretty happy with bringing him back for next year. He's cheap. He's good. I don't think he played badly at all. 2.2 goals against, 927 save average. He only played 5 games, but he won 3 of those. That's not a bad backup if you can win 50% of your games. That's not a bad backup. We also had Subban at one point. We also had Primo, who we can call up. But Sparks did the job. And I'd like to see Killer Primo develop a little bit more. So him in the AHL, I don't think is going to hurt. So we're probably gonna keep. So why do I keep calling him Jordin Sparks? Why is that name in my head? Who is Jordin Sparks? Let me know. Comment section below. Garrett Sparks, and then John Gibson. I think played well. Didn't really play as good as I'd hoped. Regular season, though, I think was fine. Regular season, I honestly think he played pretty well and did his job. In the playoffs, a little bit hit and miss here and there. 73 game rating isn't great. 915 save percentage is okay. 2.68 goals against. It's a touch high for me. That's a touch high. I'd like him to improve. But again, I think 6.4 million, I don't think there's going to be any improvement we can really make there in goaltending. So hopefully he improves a little bit, but I don't think we can get much better in goal without giving up a hell of a lot. So I think we're kind of obligated here and dialed in with the goalies we have. Like I say, got Caden Primo, who is, he's playing well in the AHL. 2.24 and a 924 save percentage. I don't see any reason why we should call him up right now. He is unhappy. I get that. I think one more year down there and then call him up, I don't think that's going to hurt him. So let me know what you think about that, because we can always bring him up as the backup and just move on from Sparks. I mean, that is a possibility. So yeah, let me know kind of what you think that might be looking like. He does have potential. He could be a really good goalie. Sparks is only a backup, so yeah, they're very similar, aren't they? They are very, very similar. They are very similar. Let's do a side-by-side comparison with this handy little screen clipping tool I've got. There we go. So those are the differences. So Primo's got better positioning. Sparks has got better rebound, much better puck handling, much worse skating, and slightly better reflexes. So it's, honestly, that's really, really close. It's really close. Mental toughness goes to Primo. Sparks picks up the point back on determination. Big team player and a little bit more leadership. So I think mentally Sparks is not by far, but a clear better goaltender. Whereas goalie ratings, I think that's so back and forth. I don't think there's any real differences here. So let's see. +1, +1, +1, +2. Even, yeah, they're the exact same number of points. So I'm just counting this up. That's a +1 because it's 14 versus 13. And then that's a 2-point difference, so it jumps back. And then a 2-point difference, it jumps back. That's why we're going +1, +1, +1. So I'm just doing the math as we're going along to add up the points. They're exactly the same. Whereas here, I don't look at aggression for goalies. I don't think I need to. But mental toughness, so +1 for Primo. That's even. +3, +4. So you can see the marked difference. There's 4 extra points in the mentals. But the goalie ratings are the same. Now that comes down to 6 extra years as well. I believe Sparks is 27. So let me know on that, whether you'd want to see Primo or Sparks for the season ahead. We can always go up to the trade deadline and then trade Sparks if we want to go with Primo. So yeah, let me know about that. Let me know about that. Left defenseman. Honestly, I'm happy. I'm happy with where we're at right now. I think Victor Mete played okay. 34 points. Still developing. 70 overall, 80 defense. Little bit of attack. Not too much. I don't think he played poorly. I think he's a leader. He fits the team quite well. He's young. He develops. I really like the way he kind of plays. And yeah, decent defense. Can puck handle out the back end if we need him to. A little bit of a two-way defenseman, but not really effective in the offensive zone. I see him as a defensive defenseman, but who can bring the puck out. So he's not just a dump and chase defensive defenseman. He'll get the puck back for you, play really well on the back end, and can help bring it out. So a little bit of utility there. Mentally, temperament, professionalism, team player, determination, all really good. He will gain more as he goes on. Physically, pretty good. More strength would be needed. he's only a young guy. I'd like to see strength and hitting improve on Victor there, but I think he's pretty good. He's pretty good for what I want. Yeah, certainly a top 3 guy. That's kind of where we're using him, I believe, is maybe as a number 2 guy. So I believe it's him and Hamilton on the first line. So Chychrun, and then Mete's number 3 with Dobson, perhaps. So he's in the kind of right place he should be. He looks okay. He does look really, really solid. So let me know what you think about him. But again, on the surface, I think he played well. I think he did well. So I'm okay there. We got him for another 3 or 4 years at a decent price. Chychrun, we're paying a decent amount for, but again, exactly the same. I think he's pretty good. Still got some development, only 23, more rounded as a defenseman, not as physical, but strong, more checking, solid defensive player. Not really one to bring out the puck as much. Maybe a slap shot from the point. Maybe that's more his offensive contribution. But definitely, it says he's a 2-way, but I definitely see him as a defensive shutdown kind of guy. Stay-at-home defenseman. I'd like to see a lot of things improve, but I think he's got some good stuff right now. And again, he's only going to get better. So I'm pretty happy with him there. Solid defenseman. Like I say, he's either first or second line for us. Willing to learn. Yeah, I'm happy with that. But yeah, no, he's not going to be a superstar, but I think he's got a solid role on the team. And he played well. Not as good offensively as Mete, which is what we saw in the stats, but solid defensively. I think that's a really good core. The other question for me would be Edmundson or Broberg. So we can easily move on to Broberg, give him some more game time, let him develop, and I don't think it looks here in game rating we're going to lose much. We don't free up much money. I don't think there's anything wrong with Edmundson. I think he's a very solid player. He's slow, but he's tough. And just as a stay-at-home, shutdown kind of D-man, I don't think you need much more than that. I don't think you need much more. I think he's on our third pair. Says, he could be good enough to play second. So, again, he's in the right kind of area for where he should be. But yeah, he's not going to score. He's a bit chippy. He brings in that little grit that we might lack elsewhere. On the flip side, you got Broberg, who's very young, was drafted very high. I think we got him really cheaply in a trade. I didn't really think we'd get him that cheaply. We do give up a lot, but I think he's going to be a much more well-rounded player. Again, I think a lot like Mete in being able to bring the puck out, contribute offensively, but mainly being a bit more of a shutdown kind of defenseman. So, defensive with utility, I would class that. So, only 19, still moving. I'm leaning towards keeping Edmundson, so let me know what you think of that. Again, second or third tier blue liner, and right now he's the 7th defenseman. So putting him on that third line instead of Edmundson, if we wanted to, wouldn't be a bad idea. It wouldn't be that bad idea. He's okay. He's not great, but again, he doesn't need to be. So, yeah, let me know what you're feeling on him. And then we've got options. We've got so many options. I mean, we got Romanov. We sent him out to play in Russia. He didn't play too badly. He didn't really do that much. But again, I feel he's very much a similar kind of prospect. More of a two-way guy, kind of good at everything, not great at anything. There's a little bit of acceleration, but not much pace to back it up. He's just solid defensively, can bring the puck out. He's just developing. He's going to need some time to really make an impact. But again, second, third tier blue liner, we can call him in. Again, he's pretty good apart from goal scoring. Him and Broberg probably match up really well against each other. Broberg's younger. But, he's a really solid option. Samuel Bolduc, again, I think very, very similar in a lot of ways to maybe a Chychrun or Edmondson, where he's a defensive shutdown kind of guy. I really like his defensive. His physical's okay. If he can improve his mental, I definitely see a big part to play on the second line. He's 6'5", he's 223, he's only 20 years of age. I think as a defensive defenseman, he could be a really good player for us. So, honestly, to replace Edmondson, I see Bolduc as that main guy coming through. Also in the system, though, along with those two, we do have Jordin Sparks. Again, only 19. But he's already looking like a really good physical and offensive player. So that brings the offensive defenseman on the left-hand side that we don't really have. If I'm honest, we don't really have that. We've got two-way guys. We've got defensive guys. This would be our offensive left-sided defenseman, which I think brings better balance. I'm not sure he's ready right now. I'm really not sure he's ready right now. He needs a year or two. But I think having him in the system, and he will be long-term someone like a Dougie Hamilton replacement. I'm fully on board with that. He does seem prone to injuries, apparently. Doesn't look like it there, but okay. That might be something to worry about. But again, I think he's fairly strong. He's well-built physically. He's balanced. But he will be an offensive defenseman. So that brings up a lot of that left-hand side kind of guys for us. Let's go over to draftees. While looking at goalies, we didn't look, but we know Askarov is going to be a beast. We know Bednar is going to be a good backup, so we don't really need to dive into those. Johnson might be good enough to call up as well, 1.5 star already. Again, an offensive-minded guy. Solid, really solid physically. Not bad defensively. I don't think he's weak at all, but he's just not that way inclined. He's definitely an offensive-type-minded guy. Does he have a part on this team? I don't know. Again, very, very similar. Very similar to Struble and Hamilton and a few other bits. Prone to injuries, okay. Johansson might have significant upside potential other scouts may have missed. Okay. Solid. He doesn't fade if you use him frequently, but he might get injured. So, if we can keep him fit, he could be a really good asset for us. So, he is there. Fairbrother. Like, the league rates him highly. If I don't rate him that highly, I should trade him. If we actually think he's a 3-star player, but the league thinks he's a 5-star player, we can get a lot more back for him. If we can find someone else that they rate as like a 2-star and we rate as a 3-star, we can swap the two players, get a bunch of picks or another prospect back that we really like, not lose anything in effect, but still make it go through. What I like though is balance, and again, he's a two-way guy. He's really good in a lot of places. I don't know that he's ready right now at 20. We've got a lot of these defensemen coming through, so yeah, potential is highly volatile. So unless we're confident we're going to develop him, then it might be best to go another way. And then Leighton Moore, who we brought in, another player I like a lot. Offensive defenseman. Solid physically right now. Needs work on the mentals, as all our young guys do. But he's already starting to look like an offensive guy. Again, we've got a lot of defensive guys. We've got some two-way guys. It's nice to get a couple of these offensive-minded players in as well. So yeah, I really like him. Again, it says injuries might be an issue. Doesn't wear down though. I don't know. Cheap shots apparently. We need that grit. We need that little bit of wind-up merchant on the back end. So I think we're solid there. We can go a lot of different ways. Have you say who you think is going to be our guys moving forward. Dougie Hamilton, decent contract I feel for him. By far the best defenseman, 6'6", 230. Great, solid guy on the back end. There's nothing here that you you're going to miss. Shot blocking, okay, but, that's not his game. But he's really good on the defense. He's physically adept, doesn't tire, works hard, keeps going. For someone that doesn't block shots, he's very, very brave. And then you've got, of course, some good offensive stats to go with that. He is an offensive defenseman. But I don't think he's weak on the back end at all. So these are the kind of players we need to find on good contracts. I think Dougie's on that. $6 million for the next few years. I think that's perfectly fine. Like I say, he's just really, really good. Cornerstone of the team. I think we need to build around him. Just absolutely fantastic. So let me know. There is Dougie's contract as well, by the way. It is going to go up, but then it comes back down. So I don't think it's a bad deal, and we're probably going to trade him 33, 34 if we get that deep. So I'm definitely happy right now with Chychrun, Mete, and Hamilton. The rest of them are question marks. Broberg, I think, long-term will come good. I think he's okay right now to go to if we need to. We've got a lot of options there, though. Noah Dobson, I think long-term we've got to stick with Dobson. I think he's not done anything right now, but honestly, he can turn into another Dougie Hamilton. He could turn into another Dougie Hamilton. There's no weaknesses. There's very few strengths. He is going to be an offensive defenseman, and he could be really, really good going forward for us. So I'm kind of happy to have him in the lineup as well. Adam Pelech, I'm not really sure on. Again, like Edmondson, I think he's really solid defensively. I brought him in for the third pairing defenseman, and I think it works really well. I do think that pairing works well. So do we keep those on the third line and then put the youngsters in on the second line and the first line alongside Hamilton as we have been? Do we not make any changes in defense and just put a lot of those young guys down in the AHL to develop? Let me know what you think on that. But yeah, I'm very happy with him overall as a shutdown defenseman. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know on that front. Right-handed defenseman Luke Martin, again, might only ever be a backup, could come in and develop into a good defensive defenseman, but 22, he's not there yet. Don't know if he's going to get there. He could replace a Pelech or an Edmondson for me. I think he definitely has that game in him. So we'll see how that works out, but I think that's more of a long-term, definitely not next season. And then Josh Brooke, another solid defensive defenseman on this left-hand side, but again, one who can bring the puck out. So he could just be a two-way defenseman. Right now, he's looking like an offensive defenseman, but we're being told he's a defensive defenseman. So that's going to be interesting for me to see how it actually works out. Might have significant downside risk. So that might be something to pay attention to. So right-handed defenseman, maybe, if we don't believe in them, maybe we should get rid of Brooke while he has a lot of value, and maybe we should get rid of Martin, who doesn't look like he might make it, and just concentrate on these left-sided guys. Because defensive defensemen, I think we've got plenty. Offensive two-way, there's plenty in the system. We look again over this side, and then we've got Rafkin, who looks really solid, needs a lot of time, but again, two-way defenseman. Could be a defensive defenseman with a little bit of aggression and also a little bit of utility bringing the puck out. Seems to be very much like a lot of our depth being in exactly the same position as one another. And then again, we've got Antti Tuomisto, bit of a leader. It says he's an offensive defenseman. He looks more two-way to me right now, but yeah, it's got him as a rushing defenseman. So we'll see how that works out if he develops a bit more pace. But 6'4", 194, I think a good two-way defenseman. That wouldn't be a big sort of a big reach to see. But yeah, fringe 6 to 7 in his current league. Not really ready to call up yet. But again, a solid player for the future. So I think we're okay back there. Left wing, Max Domi played okay. I keep wanting to trade him away, but he's just solid. Like, that's the thing for me. He's just solid. I don't think he's worth $5 million. But he's consistent. He's physically adept. He plays the game in a good way. Like, he offers something going forward. He's not great going back. But I don't think, you're not really seeing a weakness back there. So I think it's good enough to kind of keep him around as a second line left winger. Unless we got someone good coming up or a great free agent coming through that I really think will improve the team, then I think we keep Max Domi for the foreseeable future. Doesn't like pressure. Not really a hard worker. Like, he's a little bit of a jag, honestly. He's a little bit of a jag. He does have a little chippiness to him. Gets that from his dad, one of the sort of most incorrigible players of his generation. Ty Domi was an absolute nightmare at times. But Max is okay. He's not quite that bad, and he gets the job done more on the ice, so I'm pretty happy with him. Johnny Gaudreau, I think, impressed me defensively, getting a 63. I didn't expect him to get a game rating like that. Honestly, I really thought he'd be terrible. I really thought he'd be entirely offensive. Instead, he seems to be much more of a two-way guy than maybe I would have given him credit for. But, 72 last season, played well, more than a point a game. Same with us here, 73 rating. Just overall played well. Not really amazing, but just solid all over. I think that's kind of the key thing. And it, defensively he does not play well, but like he does a good enough job down the back end. Positioning's good, stick checking, defensive reads okay. But yeah, he's definitely an offensive machine. And without him last season, I don't know where we'd be. Honestly, I don't know where we would have been. We might not make the playoffs without Johnny Gaudreau, so I think he's got to come back. At least for now, at least next season, we might need to trade that contract at some point. But at least for now. Jacob Olofsson, another young guy, lot to prove. 6'2", 200 pounds, needs development. Is only up for depth, but probably should be in the AHL at best. So, yeah. I'm not entirely convinced he should be up here. Smirnov, solid, decent. Again, offensive. Probably playing third or fourth line minutes. And I don't think he's defensive enough for that. So I definitely think this is a spot we can improve on. This is a spot we can get better at. Again, I don't think there's a lot of value in the league for him, but yeah, we'll see how we step up. He's playing fourth line, he should be third line. I really do think that this is someone we should be trading away. So, 23, 2.5 stars. I think he's a little bit of an asset we can profit from. But he did not impress for us, and he did not play well on that fourth line. And then Clayton Keller, someone I've got a lot of time for. I think is going to be much better in the future. We've got an obscene contract because we made them retain. I'm still not sure how. But yeah, like Johnny Gaudreau and Clayton Keller. That's phenomenal. That could be a phenomenal partnership. So do we put Clayton Keller on the right wing? Do we do that? Do we try and get him and Johnny Gaudreau together that way? We got Gallagher and Drouin maybe moving on from the right wing. We'll get to those a little later. But you think about it, like Lindholm, Suzuki, Hurtle, Kotkaniemi, Johnny Gaudreau, Clayton Keller. There's 6 good players there. If we can figure out who plays wing, who plays center, there's 6 really good players there to work with. So I'm not sure how I want to work it out. But we've got a couple of young guys in that mix, and then 4 solid starters right now who I think do a good job. Now, Max Domi might move down to the 3rd line in that scenario. I'm not sure who else would play with him. But that could be an interesting way of doing things. But I'm a big fan of Keller. I think he could definitely be a Johnny Gaudreau. I really, really like him. I'm glad we brought him in. Again, more of a leader. Definitely someone to build around for the future. He's at a really good age right now. And like I say, that contract, he's going to be less than $4 million for the next 8 years. Like, 30 is the first time we're going to have to pay him. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. They're eating half his contract. I'm absolutely on board with that. I am absolutely on board with that. But yeah. Maybe we should look to do that more often when getting a big guy, is giving them more, paying a higher price, but in return, making sure they eat up contract. But yeah, I'm not sure. So Smirnov, Olofsson, I don't think are here. Gaudreau, Keller, Domi, I really, really like though. And I think that could be a really good setup for us. I might move Keller on to that 2nd line right wing. Johnny Gaudreau and Max Domi on the left. Elias Lindholm and Clayton Keller on the right. And then we've got Hurtle and Suzuki down the center. What do you think about that? Let me know. We'll figure out. I think that would be a decent mix of attack and defensive players as well on those lines. That could be our starting top 6. Let me know what you think about that though. When we look at the contracts, there's no forwards in the AHL at all. We don't have any. What we do have in abundance are people I really like down in the unsigned draftees page. So, calling up players like Jesse Puljujarvi, that pool party himself. 6'4", 212, could play well defensively. We know he's probably going to be more of an attacking player. I definitely think calling him up would be good. Getting him some 3rd line minutes, maybe with a Cole Caulfield on the right-hand side and a Kotkaniemi in the middle. That might work. And then a really defensive, puck-winning 4th line that we rebuild from scratch. Maybe that works out. But I think he's a decent 2-way player. He can do a bit of everything. I really like him, though. I really do like him. How he works out, if he works out, I don't know. It might take him some time. He hasn't really done a lot in real life yet. But I think that we didn't pay an amazing amount for him. Yeah, we got him fairly cheaply. And I think he'll work out really well for us. So, I think he's definitely coming in this season. As well as that, we do have Denisenko, who is a superstar in the making. Very solid. Again, going to be more of an offensive player. But we can give him some time. We can give him some time to develop and to get up to speed. I think we need to be careful with him because he is very much, in my opinion, a boom or bust prospect. He is there. The other guys coming through. Hirvonen. Solid. Offensive more than defensive. Long-term replaceable Hurtle, I could definitely see that. But yeah, solid player. Is he ready? No, maybe. Probably an AHL player, though. Ponomarev, solid again. We haven't really scouted him. But again, needs time. Only 19. We don't know that much about him. But I think long-term he'll be okay. Blumel, exactly the same. Solid player, more offensive, but again, could turn into a two-way player. Depends how his defensive stats come in. We have yet to scout him. Nick Wong, someone who I quite like. I think does certainly have a place on this team. Maybe not this year, but next year, possibly. Again, very young, but could certainly come in and replace some of these older players. So if Hurtle or Lindholm didn't work out, if we're getting rid of Gallagher, Drouin, Lekkonen, do we need someone called up? Long term, do we see a place on this team for him? Yes. If we got rid of Max Domi, this could definitely be another guy we can bring up. I quite like him. I do quite like him. More of an offensive player, for certain, but a very solid one. And then Lucas Reichel, the German, 19, already looks good defensively and offensively. Again, maybe a two-way player. Very interesting person to bring up. Can take some face-offs as well, so we can put him as a center as well. There are a couple of players we do have that positional adaptability on, let's say. And yeah, I really like him long-term as well. Sort of a middle six player like Nick Wong, maybe, who can just float everywhere. Good second liners that we can build with. So Pono, Wong, Reichel, and Pool Party, I think, are all very, very good second line kind of prospects. Hirvonen could be a first line prospect long term, although we are kind of really good there right now. If you look at our young players, Cole Caulfield, Kotkaniemi, Nick Suzuki, and Clayton Keller, it's going to be tough to break through that, but he should be up in that conversation in the next couple of years, and so should Denisenko. So those are the back-end players to look at. On the other wing, like I said, Elias Lindholm, good. Everybody else, meh. You look at these stats, nobody really set up. Gallagher, we like, but he doesn't do much. He's got some big stats. He is the club captain, but I'm more than happy to move on from him. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, there might be a market for him. He might get some good value back. 29, 3.75 million. That is going up, though. It's going up to 5 million next year. And I don't think this kind of production on the second line is worthy of being brought back. 5.5 million for the next 3 years for Drouin. Didn't produce on the second or the third lines for us. Very, very similar. I like him a lot more. I think he's built a lot better. He's 26. I think he could definitely be a good player. But again, I don't think he's performing. Out of the two, I'd keep him over Gallagher 100%. But he's another player I don't think we need and doesn't add anything. So if we go Lindholm and Keller next season with Gaudreau, Domi, I don't think Drouin plays well on that second line. I just don't. I don't think he breaks that up. I don't think he plays well on the third line. He certainly won't play well on the fourth line. So that's another asset we can give up. So two 3-star players right there. I think Lekkonen as well, 2.5-star potential we could trade away. Smirnov, exactly the same. 2.5 stars. Yeah, I'm thinking of shaking that up. So back end, maybe no changes. Maybe Sparks out. Top end, I think we can definitely make some moves. Get rid of some of the guys in that middle six who just aren't doing the job. I think we've got enough to have the top six working really well. And then just bring through some youngsters on the third line. Make sure that works. You got your Cole Caulfield there. We've got Kotkaniemi to sit on that third line. And hopefully with Caulfield around him and a good left winger, a good solid sort of power forward, maybe left winger, that might help the third line. And then a defensive-minded, shutdown fourth, grinder, gritty line that we need. That might help us out big time. So, let me know what you think about that as well. Suzuki and Hurtle played okay. Do we keep Thomas Hurtle? Do we keep Thomas Hurtel or do we upgrade if we can? Because I think offensively he's really good. He does seem to be a second-line centre, and that's kind of what I had in mind for him. But Lindholm went to play right wing instead of being our first-line centre. So, I don't know. He's responsible. He's pretty good. He's 27. If Suzuki took over that first-line spot, do I feel better about this? Maybe. So, that might be something. That might be something to look forward to. So let me know what you think about that. Is Nick Suzuki our first liner going into next season? Is Hurtel going to be second liner? Do we kind of bite that bullet, spread the wealth a little bit, and look to the future with Nick Suzuki? Because I don't know. Face-offs aren't great with Suzuki. That's my issue. That's why I wanted as well to have Lindholm in, who has Lindholm, who has 17 face-offs. I definitely think he could be that center, and Suzuki could be a better right winger. So I might go in and try and sort that out for next season. We might try and just keep forcing that to happen on a game-by-game basis until the game sees them that way. That might be another avenue to go. And then Thomas Hurtel would be a very, very nice second-line center, in my opinion. Kotkaniemi, not a phenomenal prospect as we thought he might be one day, but he's built really well. I think third line right now suits him quite well. Second line potentially behind a Lindholm, again, I think works out long term. Could be a really, really good player. Also got power play kind of potential to him. I don't see any reason why we get rid of him. Honestly, I really don't. And then Larson, he's unhappy. He's older. He's not great physically. He's a decent fourth line player, but he's, 100%. 100% get rid of and get someone who is a lot more physical, as good or better defensively. That, I think, is going to be key. So we need to identify those kind of players. But I think the forward core can be shaken up a lot, but we don't have a lot of those guys coming through. So Pool Party can come in. Third line of Pool Party, Kotkaniemi, and Caulfield could be really nice, as I say. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. I do think that's going to be my preference, though. Lindholm is my first line center. Johnny Gaudreau on the left. And, Nick Suzuki on the right. Second line would be Max Domi on the left, Clayton Keller on the right, and Thomas Hurtel down the center. I like that balance. You then get your third line of Pool Party on the left, Cole Caulfield on the right, either side of Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I think that's really good. And nobody else makes it. Olsen out, Smirnov out. Olsen to the HL. Smirnov traded. Larson traded. Gallagher, Drouin traded. I think that makes sense to me. And we just get three good defensive, more veteran kind of players to fill out that fourth line. And the defense we keep roughly the same. Maybe trading out Edmondson if we like someone else in that spot. So that's kind of my breakdown of the team there. I think that makes sense to me. I hope it does to you. But yeah, overall, I think we're in a good spot. We're lacking something. We are lacking something, in my opinion. I think we need something to kind of kickstart a little bit. We need to kickstart a little bit. So, yeah, we've got good depth. We've got good young players. We've kind of got too many good young defensemen. I don't think I really want to draft defensemen. We've got Askarov and Bednar, so we're kind of sorted on the goalies. Although, there is going to be at least one goalie I really like in this next draft. If we get a high enough pick, I'm probably going to go for them just because solving goalie early is really good. We only have a first and 2 seconds. We have that for the next couple of seasons as well as a third in 23. We've traded to get this depth. But now we can trade that middle six that we don't like and isn't working for us. and that fourth line that we don't like and isn't working, not really lose too much quality in the top six, get a young third line, a solid fourth line in free agency, which shouldn't be hard to do, honestly. And yeah, we're going to rebuild some of our picks by doing that, or get more prospects by doing that. So let me know what you kind of think of those ideas, where it might work, where you think I'm looking at things wrong. But right now, as I say, I think we're in a good position. We're rebounding back. 96 2 years ago, 80 last season, 97 and back to the playoffs this year. So if we can continue trending in the right way, I think that's going to work out for us. I do think that's going to work out for us. 30 goals from Gaudreau and Hurtle. Nick Suzuki with 28. Like I say, I plan to move Suzuki back to the right wing. So hopefully, like Hurtle and Suzuki on one line, Gaudreau, and like I say, Lindholm on the other line. I think that might work out. Assists, Johnny Gaudreau, great season there. Not only a goal scorer, but a provider. Hurtle, second on both lists. Domi, he would still be second line left wing, with Suzuki on the right wing. I think that would work out. No, it wouldn't be Suzuki. Would it be Clayton Keller on the right wing? So again, I think that would be good balance, and Suzuki produces as well. But solid. We need to stop giving up penalties. We need to, do some good things. But we're already doing a lot really good. We need to shoot more. We need to stop the shots coming in. We need to stop giving up that many penalties. But overall, across the regular season, I think we had a fantastic year. I don't think there was anything wrong at all. I think we did phenomenally well. Dougie's outspoken, but I'm not going to hold that against him. We've got so many leaders here. Gallagher's a captain, but probably leaving us. We've got leaders to really sort of hopefully step up and take that spot. Smirnoff's a spark plug, but he's probably gone. Prankster to keep things light in Broberg. We're in a really good spot right now. Losing in the playoffs, yeah, you're going to lose some job security there. But overall, I think we did really well. We're in a good spot. This is the one area I'm not entirely convinced on. I keep going back and forth with it. He should be really good, but when we watch the games, we really don't play well. We simulate the regular season well, so there must be something here. And we were 2-2 with Washington over the 4 that we simulated. So let me know on that front as well. Which way do you think we go with the coaches? I do feel that I've got to maybe look into the tactical side a bit more, what each stat actually means. And again, I think the preferences here might be key. So I was happy going with Gallant because he seemed to be a good coach. Managed the players well. Perhaps discipline was an issue. Perhaps motivation was an issue. I'm not sure. But tactically, he was the best person available. He's been very successful throughout his career as well. So, yeah. And I mean, we did see that. We did see that. If you look across here, 47 for the Florida Panthers, 44 wins for us. He's had some 35, 38 games. So he's had 2 average seasons, 1 good season, stepped up with us, and had a very good season again. I don't think that was bad at all. But I was really balanced on the tactics and in-game tactics. Perhaps motivation and discipline would have been a big, big addition. But for me as well, preferences, he's ruthless when it comes to loyalty. So am I. I do tend to get rid of a lot of players that other people would have kept. I tend to be very, very proactive in terms of team building and trading and so on. I don't tend to like the status quo. I do like to blow things up and rebuild as much as possible. Innovation, balance, favor veterans, balanced. That's kind of in line with my own thinking. I do like to go with prospects, but I do like a bit of not really true veteran presence, but guys around the age of 30 who bring some experience to the table. Goalie handling conservative, not really sure what that means. But hey, he's not radical in any way, so that's okay. Probably rides the hot hand. That's kind of what I took it to mean. But I need to read into it and get a bit more actual knowledge and insight behind these preferences to fully understand the way a coach works and match one to my philosophy, not just go off ratings. Line matching tends to be aggressive. I don't mind that. I don't really have a line matching preference. So, that's okay with me. A physical style of hockey is something I like. Standard offense, I do like more offense. I do feel there's a slight disconnect there. So maybe this wasn't perfectly the way I wanted to play. He didn't play a couple of players the way I wanted them to. Suzuki on the right and Lindholm down the center, for example. That didn't work out. So there's a little bit of disconnect, and I think maybe motivation, discipline. So a new goalie, new head coach might be a way to go. Apart from that, I really like our staff. I think assistant coach, we got some great coaches in here. We got a great trainer. Our scouts are absolutely fantastic. We got plenty of depth. I've set up a few permanents here, AHL, NHL, free agents. I think I've got some really good scouts there. Apart from that, we set up for 2 at least in each region. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. Honestly, I don't think we could get much better in terms of staff. So that head coach might come into play. We'll have some more money as well to get a new head coach, to get 1 or 2 assistant coaches if we want to, and to get even more scouts if we really want to on that side of the thing. So, yeah, let me know what you think on Gerard Gallant. That is a big thing. But like I say, defensively, I'm thinking of keeping it the same. Offensively, blow up that middle 6 and that bottom line, rebuild it, and see where we go from there. But I wish we could lock people into position. I wish we could keep... I think I might have to go in... To do that, I think I might have to go into like creative mode or commissioner mode and edit the ratings so he's only a center and can't play right wing. And I don't really want to do that. So if there's another way, if there is a way of doing it, let me know. I don't think I can lock anyone in. And I think I've got to go into head coach mode to do that, which is not really something I truly want to do. So let me know if there is indeed a way of doing that or not. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to see next season. Get that extra face-off presence in and get that good call. I think they're both fairly they're the same kind of player. There's not going to be much difference. I just think Lindholm's a better center than Suzuki. So swapping them out, I don't think would be a bad idea. And they're probably both going to play on the first line no matter what. So, yeah, hit me up with information there if you would please. Current free agents, of course, there's nothing really up here that we want. Upcoming free agents, again, there's not a ton. Ovechkin just won the Stanley Cup. He either resigns or he retires, I think, right there. A young backup goalie like Carter Hart, that could be available at the right price. I don't know if I want to make a move there. Rasmus Dahlin, I think we'd be stupid if he's not still available. If he's still available, we've got to go for him. Right now, that seems to be it. Anybody else you'd want to see me make a run for, give me an argument as to why. Going to scroll down to the end of the 2.5 stars. You can pause the video and see these players at your leisure. Give me an argument for those players. Potentially who's coming up. So 3 stars and above. Going to work our way up from here. So let me know if there's anybody here I should be looking at. Any youngsters to develop. Someone like a Stanley maybe. A Howden. We've done Howden before. He's always turned out to be a nice second line, third line center. Clegg. We've got Peak, Deneen, and the defensive end. Rasmussen's up here as well. Jonathan Eriksson-Ek, I mean, is there a case to bring him in? Connor Timmins, he might find a bit of a log jam there in Colorado. I don't think it's easier with our defensive core, though. So maybe not in that way. Those are your 3 stars up to the 3.5s then. Someone like Terry, someone like MacLeod. There's goaltenders up here. Jake Bean could be a big upgrade on defense, maybe. Yokohaju as well. You know, we don't really need to update defenders or goalies, and sadly, that's what a lot of these promising players are. But let me know what you think on that front as well, where we should go, who's playing the best right now as well throughout some games. Again, goalies dominate, but someone like Rasmus Dahlin plays well. Jonathan Brodin, is it Jonathan Brodin? Jonas Brodin plays decently. Jake Bean, decent. You know, Cholowski, Valimaki, Travis Sandheim, Breiruther. They are available. There are depth pieces to pick up. So let me know on that. Trading block, Gensel, I mean, Carrier maybe, potentially. You kidding me? Kyle Anderson still on the block. Didn't play well, but he's still on the block. Lundqvist, Deshonek. I mean, there's pieces. Let me know what you think about those kinds of people too, because I'm not sure. Can I look at the draft? How am I going to be able to look at the upcoming NHL draft? Prospect rankings? Is that the team's prospects? Yes, that's not the draft itself. So, yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to take a look at the draft right now. One second. There we are. I knew it was here somewhere. So, a list of all these future great players as well. Do we try and take a run at one or two of these? I don't think it's going to be easy to do. Volsted's my goalie of choice. Like, that's worth trading away Askarov to get Volsted. If I get Volsted in the first round, then Askarov can easily be traded for another great prospect elsewhere. Guenther, I think, is very good. Joshua Roy could be very good. Luke Hughes, I'm a huge fan of. Aturati, I'm not sure on. He would be a good fit, but I'm not sure where he'd play. Vilma's there. There's so many decent players here that we can take a look at. So let me know what you think about some of these and where they'd fit as well. Midterm ranking. Really? Centipede, this is number one in the midterm. Really? That's fair, I guess. But Gunther, Hughes, Royal, Vilma, Othman, Dak, Krunkovic, Clark, Beignet, Shaker, Reynolds, Lambos, Wino, Wong, Kufis, Stringer. Some decent players down here. A lot of offensive players as well. There's a few defensemen scattered in, but a lot of offense, which does suit us. So, yeah, let me know what you think of those as well. But like I say, I think we've come off the back of a good season, and I think we've got pieces in play that work really well. Backup goalies, a question mark. The 6th and 7th defenseman might be a question mark. Bottom line defense might be a question to go for as well. And then, do you agree with switching Keller to right wing, switching Suzuki to right wing, Lindholm to center, and having two stacked lines up there, getting rid of Brendan Gallagher, Jonathan Drouin, Smirnov, Leikkonen, and Larson, and just clearing all those out and rebuilding that bottom six in terms of the forward lines. Let me know what you think of that. Pool Party, Kotkaniemi, and Caulfield as a third line pairing. Let me know. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up. It's been a long video. I knew it was going to be, but we have so much to talk about and so much analysis to get into. I really didn't think we could do things quickly at all. Like, team stats were really good as well. The team stats were really, really good. Let me go here to 40 games. Make sure we're not filtered on just goalies. No, we're not. So stat summary. And as you can see, so many good players, but we're not really in the mix here. Johnny Gaudreau had 93 points. That was 14th in the league. After him, Thomas Hurtle's down at 31 with 75 points. And then it takes a while to get down to anybody else. We're lacking some power. Suzuki and Domi on 64 each. We're not really getting any defensemen up here. Dougie Hamilton tops us out at 58. So, is that an issue? Is it points? Are we not getting enough done there? And then goalie stats. I mean, wins is more a product of the team than anything else. And we did okay. I mean, John Gibson had 30 wins. It's not bad. But I think he should be up here in like top 6 category, and he's down in 12th. That's an issue for me. Goal against, I mean, you know, it's not great, is it? 268. It's not great. Again, we're kind of in the middle average part of the league. Not where you would expect the 5-star goaltender to be. Not where you expect one of the best in the league to be. And then save percentages, we're 13th again. So outside the top 10, down a bit. We might need a better defense to help him out, but I don't think he's played up to scratch. So first line did okay, second line did okay, but we're missing some star power and someone to take control of a game, I feel. I don't think anybody really stepped up across the season and made sort of a big impact on their own. I think it was very much a team effort. Johnny Gaudreau probably sort of was the one who impressed me the most, and he is there, 73. 25th in the league, though. So, 31 teams, we had the 25th best player in terms of rating per game. And then, again, we've got to go down a bit to actually get to number 2 for us, which would be Mete leading out the defenseman at 50. So that's kind of bottom 3 in the league for best player and second best player performing game-to-game basis. That's not good. That's not good. We made the playoffs, but the players didn't play well. The goalie was kind of average despite being one of the league's best. So that's why I think we need to shake things up. Comment section below. Let me know what you think of this video, where you can see us making moves. Is Gerard Gallant the right man to take us forward, or do we need to go a different direction? What are we missing? Is there people in free agency? Are there trade targets? Let me know what you think we need to do. I'm going to spend a couple of hours looking through this and planning out some moves. And yeah, we'll see if we can go one better. A good season. A very good season. 11th in the league. 97 points, 44 wins. Colorado had one more point in the regular season than us. That was it. We outshot them. We conceded less than they did. But they had an overtime loss where we had a regulation loss. But they went to the Stanley Cup final. We didn't. They won the Stanley Cup last season. What is it going to take for us to take that step? How good do we need to be? Where can we make those improvements? I don't think we're far off. But something isn't quite right. And when I watch the games, we play a lot worse than if I don't. Is that just the way it works? If you know, let me know. Does it use because I'm the GM, and when I watch the game, does it use my in-game tactics to kind of process things rather than the actual head coaches? I don't know. Let me know, and we'll try and figure that out. So maybe we won't watch matches. I don't know. That could be the way it goes. But I do want to see these games happen when we get to the playoffs. So I'd like to be able to solve that if it is an issue. Or if it really is as random as it seemed to be, where we lost 2 quite heavily, then we won 2 quite heavily, and then we lost 2 kind of closer games against Washington. So I'm not sure. Comment section below. Have your say. But yeah, good season. probably overachieved, but I thought that we were really good in parts, really bad in parts. And if there's one thing I dislike in sports, it's a streaky team. I don't like winning 6 in a row if I'm going to lose the next 4. And then win 2 and lose 6. And then win 4 and lose 2. I don't like that kind of stuff. If we're going to be bad, we're going to be bad. If we're going to be good, we've got to be good. I don't like that middle point. We don't get good draft picks. We don't do well. We don't win anything. It's really annoying to me. So help me figure that stuff out. I'll see you next time, though. Till then, take care, behave yourselves, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You know what to do. Let me know where I'm going wrong, what I'm doing right. If you're learning anything, all the advice, hit me up, let me know, and we'll figure this out together. Stanley Cup 25 on the way for Montreal Canadiens. We just need to get that little bit better. And honestly, that little bit of star power and a little bit more consistent. If that's the case, I think it's coming in the next few seasons for a very successful rebuild. So help me out if you can. Take care, behave, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.